Hi, this is Christine Edmondson, and you are here because you're interested in the peer support internship for spring 2026. The internship is part of the Movie Conversations Project, and the Movie Conversations Project bridges people in science and a participatory research approach. Let me tell you a little bit about participatory research. So, in participatory research, people in the community develop and deliver mental health programs. Oftentimes, these have a mental health program promotion approach, also mental health education and system navigation. Ours is mental health promotion. In this mental health promotion development process, the researcher role is to enhance their program development by doing program evaluations with scholarly importance. And that's how we bridge people in science in participatory research methods. All right, so you all are going to be the community members who help to develop programs, along with people who've been working on program development for a minute. So I guess technically you're delivering programs, but you're also going to develop programs. Your delivery is going to be in terms of data collection from Psych 10 students. Now, this is not an intervention, so let's just be really clear. It's a research focused activity in the psych department, but is much like what you might do in a community. It's research focused because in this study, we're trying to identify some mechanisms of change. And so we're interested in mechanisms of change and peer support. We're also interested in impact. But in a Psych 10 pool one-shot study, it's very hard to evaluate impact because you don't usually change after one session, right? At the same time, though, you can measure if one session changes some feelings or attitudes to get a sense of what might happen in a longer intervention. And also, you can look very carefully because you're doing an experiment when you do a Psych 10 study about an intervention. So it's an experiment where you have a control group, a practice group or a practice simulation group, and then you look at a very, very narrow part of what happens in that session. And that's what we're going to be doing, using some of the program evaluation techniques to kind of simulate participatory research. So you'll learn more about it if you join us. So that's what we do. Okay, if you are accepted as an intern, you will be trained to facilitate peer support and to provide traditional classroom instruction about wellness. Okay, so that's going to be how you support a research project, is you're going to use your training to do that. Part of the whole process is going to be your own wellness storytelling. So you're going to have to disclose a little bit about yourself in this research. And let me model a wellness story. And before I do it, let me emphasize that wellness storytelling in our model that we're testing is strengths-based. So what we do is we talk about a wellness tool I use. A wellness principle that supports me is, an action plan I use is. So we're always talking about what we're doing to be well and stay well. We also talk about what we look like when we're well and things like that. In this simulated session, we won't talk about all of that, okay, but you'll learn about all of that as a peer support intern. And oh, by the way, even though you're learning about all that, you won't be qualified to be a peer support specialist when you're done, but you'll have some really nice foundational understandings of peer support, how it works in our mental health system, and how to do it well. And there's a nice side effect. It supports your wellness, and data supports that outcome. Okay, so back to an example of wellness storytelling. So there would be some sort of prompt like to support my mental health and so, or a wellness tool I use to support my mental health is. And so one of the wellness tools I use to support my mental health is making sure I get good sleep every night. Um, because good sleep means that during the day I can be centered, present, and focused, and that's what I look like when I'm well. And it's the foundation of that. I also take medication. I drink coffee in the morning. If I get those three things done, I have the foundation for supporting my wellness that day. And I can bounce back for the everyday stressors, or even when a big one comes along, I'm more focused and ready to deal. Okay, so that's a wellness story. Did I tell you what my problems were? Did I tell you why I take meds? No, right? I just told you tools I use. Easy peasy, right? It's self-disclosure. Now you know a little bit more about me than you did probably before watching video, but it's nothing that reveals any stories you might have that are difficult or reveals something difficult in your life that's an ongoing stressor, right? And so this is why strength-based peer support has an evidence base for effectiveness, because it's pretty easy to tell wellness stories no matter where you've been in terms of a difficult or complex life, where you are right now in terms of what you're dealing with. And as students, you're dealing with a lot. So you still can tell wellness stories. Okay, another wellness story is something like this. And I'm going to talk about the past because I'm not doing it now, but this is why we need you. Okay, so to support my academic stress, let me try that again. So let's imagine the STEM is to support my academic success, I. Okay. So this is my answer when I was a student. To support my academic success, I ask my professors to help me when I'm confused. Okay. So easy peasy. Again, I just told my story about how I support academic success. Now, I could tell a specific story about one time I was confused about statistics, and I was. It's like multiple regression in grad school was hard for me. Okay, so I had to go ask my professor for help, and I had a right to do that, and I did. And I was able to pull out statistics grade of A in my second semester. I got an a B. That's when I knew. It was like, oh, Christine, you better go ask for more help because I'm an A student, right? B really like. But not all of you have to be A students, right? And you don't have to be an A student to be on the peer support team. Okay, so we're going to take about 6 interns, maybe a couple fewer, because we do have some returning Movie Conversations Project team members who've been on the team this semester doing another project, but sorry, they get first shot. I'll tell you more about preferred qualifications in a minute. Here are your requirements, and these are hard requirements, okay? So you're going to have to attend Wednesday meetings from 11 to 12 starting the first day of class. No missing the first day of class, otherwise you can't do it. I'll drop you right then, okay? And you need to attend all those Wednesday meetings, 11 to 12. So make sure your schedule will support that. Make sure your life will support that. Okay. We're also going to have trainings 2 Saturdays, the 31st and the 7th. Okay. Those are hard requirements. You miss any of those trainings and we'll have to drop you from the team. So if you're interested, save those dates now, because in the interview, we're going to ask you, have you saved those dates? Is it definite that you can come? I'm sorry if you can't come. You can't be a part of this group this semester. We might do it again in the fall. We'll see. But this semester, you can't do it unless you can get to those Wednesday meetings every week and unless you get to those 2 Saturday trainings, January 31st and February 7th. Okay, another hard requirement. When we start to collect data, you're going to have to do 6 hours a week of data collection. And you need to plan to do this throughout the semester. So if you're not doing data collection during your 6 hours, we will give you something else to do to support our research program. We have plenty to do, particularly in data management. We're also going to have you create social media about wellness. So during that 6 hours, we're going to keep you busy, okay? So even though maybe the first couple of weeks of the semester, we may not have you working a 6-hour schedule, we will set that schedule first Wednesday and you have to commit to it, okay? And it'll be hard to set that schedule. When we get closer, you'll learn why, and you'll learn the importance of treating that 6 hours just like you would treat a class. Okay. Those are hard, hard, hard requirements because they're going to be hard for you to put together in your busy lives. They're hard in the sense that it's a hard no if you can't do that. All right, you're going to have to be able to tell a wellness story in person in front of a room with confidence and enthusiasm. Okay. You're also going to have to video record an introduction. It'll be simple, but we're going to use it on social media. So you have to be comfortable doing that and practice it and so forth. And if you're not comfortable, but you want to learn, because you know what? We're going to be making videos to post on the internet for the rest of our lives. So I used to hate it. I used to feel like, oh, I'm going to stumble a lot. They need to be edited, and they do need to be edited. I talk too much. But the bottom line is, you got to do it. So show up as yourself, but take it up a notch. Make sure your hair's done. Make sure you're wearing something nicer than usual. And be prepared with what you're going to say. You see me looking down? I got notes. Be prepared. Okay? It doesn't have to be perfect. And then, so those are the two things. Okay. Oh, I said video introduction. And then we're going to make information about wellness for our social media. We could make flyers, but really the most impactful social media is our faces making videos. We can send people to websites with more information. So we do need website support. So we'll keep you busy 6 hours a week, even though we may not be collecting data any particular week. And then there's also the whole practice of facilitation. The more practice, the easier it will get to do the data collection, the better data we'll collect. So our preferred qualifications, we want to get transfer students in the first year if we can. So if you're a transfer student in your first year, this is your second semester or first semester at Fresno State, go for it. We want you. You don't have to have tons of experience. You just need to be ready to tell your story and learn how to make videos on social media, make those videos, maybe even some website kinds of things. All right, we need you to be able to graduate in fall 2026 or later, okay? I'm sorry if you're graduating next semester. We might want to keep you around for things and that sort of thing. And part of my goal is to get people early. I think so many people miss out on some opportunities because it takes them a while to get involved. They wait till the last semester, and I'm sorry I couldn't save you a couple of years ago. Love you. Wish you the best success. Really, I do. I wish I could help you, but I've got to respect my own limits. Wellness tool, set limits, keep them. All right. And then our last is we're going to try to take 179. Let me start that sentence over, because if we were editing it, we could start it from the beginning of the sentence. So we're going to take students from Psych 179I over other students, because we know you all need internships, and we advertise this as an internship on campus. And you 179I students have busy lives, and this is a great opportunity to not have to travel to an internship site and that sort of thing. You also can get research experience if that's what you wanted and you never had a chance to get, or you're feeling like the 179I requirement is going to have you put that off for longer. You don't have to. There are research experiences available you can use for your internship, and this is one of them. Okay, applications are due January 9th. We're going to interview the week of the 13th, make decisions by the end of the week, and you will start on the first day of classes, January 21st. So, yeah, the application is right there on this, whatever I make to post the video, and a link to the form. Yeah, this stuff, easy but time consuming. And sometimes I'm throwing it together at the last minute, hence the long video. Actually, I think it would have taken this long to say this much. So anyway, stick in your application. We may not interview you, but we appreciate your application, and we'll try to make contact and support you whatever way we can. But we are going to be tight for time, especially in the beginning of the semester. So if you don't get an interview, don't think we don't love you or care about you. But definitely try to apply if you're interested. That's the first step, is trying. If you don't get it, you're practicing not getting it. Try it over and over again, right? And then if you get an interview, be ready to interview the following week. Early in the week is preferred so you can get ready for school to start, and we know that you're coming. All right. Thank you for listening to this long video about our movie conversations project and our peer support research project and social media effort for next semester. And I'm looking forward to meeting you, if not next semester, sometime, either as a colleague or maybe sometime before you graduate. All right. Take care.